What's up, y'all? So today we got a new kayak. We're gonna be testing out the Old Town Sportsman 120p. Sure, it's gonna be an upgrade from the Hoodoo, so let's get out there and see how we like it. Let's do it. Also, can everybody please not be one of those people that comes to the boat launch and just leaves a freaking piss bottle right at the launch? That's disgusting. We all live here, let's keep it clean. All right, y'all, so this is the kayak in. We haven't put the drive in yet, but some things to note. So how the seat works is a rail right here. So you make sure this guides into the rail, pull the tab, pull it back as far as you want, drop the tab down, and now it's locked in place. So super simple. I like that way more than the Hoodoo. It's got some storage. This is how you drop down your rudder. Flip that. That'll flip. And you've got your steering over here. So let's hurry up and get in the water. And let's go. Easy money. Alright, so we have a paddle lock right here, which I like this kind. Flip this out, pop it out. Now you're ready to paddle. See that? And then you just click it back in, just push down, and pull this tab up. And make sure it locks back in. So much better than just the bungee cord. And now it's time to flip the rudder down, flipped it down, unlock our steering. There's actually a steering lock, so that way you if you're trying to go straight for a long distance, you don't have to worry about this spinning on you. And then we will drop this down, lock this into place, and we're ready to go. So now that we're on the water, right? Like I said, this is actually my second time. I took it out for about 2 hours after work this week. Obviously couldn't wait to get it in the water. So some really nice features that this kayak has is on the pedal drive itself. It actually has a dry box in here, so you can put your cell phone, whatever you want, close it, lock it, and everything will stay nice and dry and safe in there. I like that a lot. I like to put my phone, my wallet, my GoPro batteries, etc. in there. I also like that it has these little rubber cubbies. Makes it for easy access for some bait or any tools that you might need on the water. Like I was explaining before, I really like this locking mechanism right here. You just spin it tighty-righty, lefty-loosey to lock it in place. Because I noticed that whenever I'm like fishing the Chesapeake Bridge Tunnel or anything in high current, I'll try to reverse and my rudder will just start spinning back and forth. At least it did on the Hoodoo. Now I don't have to worry about that if I'm trying to stay on course or I'm trolling and I'm getting into rough water. I could just lock that in place, not worry about anything. What else? So yeah, so like right now I'm a little too far back for my liking. You just pull these tabs up, give it a slide forward, lock it in place. So I will put up like the specifications on this kayak, its weight, it's a 12-foot kayak, how much it weighs, with the drive, without the drive. I'll give you all those numbers right here. But I will say this, the weight distribution on this, it seems like it's heavy, but it's really not bad. Like picking up the Hoodoo fully loaded, just because it seems so compact, it was a pain in the butt to drag across a beach. This though, seems like it's gonna be a cakewalk. So that's one positive I'm really liking on this. All right guys, so let's dive into some of the features. So for this kayak, you have 3 hatches. You have the one up front. You have this one, which is awesome. It's on your drive. It's a dry box, so you can put your phone, keys, wallet, any valuables that you don't want to get wet, go right in there, and it locks. If I can be not dumb, there we go. All right, and then we also have one right behind the seat, right here. One thing to know though, it has a lock on it. But one thing to know is there is no bag or cubby inside of it. So if you throw something in there and let's just say a water bottle, it's gonna roll throughout the whole of your kayak. So you might want to upgrade that. If you're planning to use it. I don't really use them. Only thing I'm going to be putting in the front hatch eventually is a battery. So another great thing is it does come with 2 rail mounts. Decent length, so I'll probably put my fish finder on this side. I actually just got another ball mount because mine snapped. An extra rod holder here for trolling or for just handling fish. Decent length, can definitely fit enough gadgets and gizmos for whatever you want to put on it. I also like that it has these little rubber cubbies essentially. It makes it super easy for storage access. Easy to keep, you know, knives, tools, bait, you know, whatever the case may be. I do like that, instead of just having it all flopping all over the kayak. So another thing with this kayak is it does come with 3 rod holders. So you have the one right here, and then you have 2 on your left side. But the front one on your left side actually faces forward, like so. I'm not a huge fan of that design. I'm sure some people are. I feel like whenever I had a rod or I had the net there, it always got in the way because it was right here in my peripheral. So if I'm fighting a fish over here, my rod's smacking it, could possibly lose it if it falls out. But for me, I'm just gonna keep my orange flag whenever I go out deep. I got the extra rod holder here now, so I'll be fine. So another good thing I really like about this kayak is its seat. So as I showed you earlier, to get it into the rails, it just slides in. You pull these tabs and then drop them down in place. Super easy. I also like that there's actually a storage underneath the seat, which makes it nice. You're not putting any of your lures on the deck or anything like that. So easy access. One thing I like about the seat is how high it is. On my Hoodoo and my other kayaks, they kind of sit lower in the kayak. So I feel like I'm almost laying down with just a backrest, and it would mess my back up to no end. Like after 2 hours, especially as I'm getting older, you know, pushing 30, it would really start to mess my back up. Then I'd have to stand up, and have to go to shore sometimes because I'm cramping up so bad if I'm able to. But one good thing is it's kayak super adjustable, but also one of my favorite things is you can lay down. If I could. Okay. I was just being dumb. Boom. So now I can just lay down, take a breather, take a nap, do whatever I want to do. So that's super cool. And then all you do is pull the strings, make it tight again. Let's get into the pedal drive system itself. I think the pedal drive is fantastic. I actually didn't want to buy this kayak because I thought that this pedal drive looked bulky. I don't really know. I don't know. I thought it was ugly. I didn't even realize that there was a storage on it. I just thought that's how big it was from years ago. You know, when something gets stuck in your head and then you never think about it again. Stupid, I know, but that's how it was. Now that I'm on it, there is more resistance than the Hoodoo. So if I'm just sitting here cruising at the speed, I do feel like I have to push harder than I did on the Hoodoo. But I will say this much, this kayak is definitely faster than the Hoodoo, without having to do maximum effort. On the Hoodoo, if I wanted to go fast, I would really have to push. This, I could just cruise and I'm going that speed that I would have been trying on the Hoodoo. So definitely the drive, better gearing, whatever they did, fantastic. Definitely an improvement from my previous kayak. I also like that it has these soft pads on it. That way you can be out here barefoot. That was one thing about my other kayak. Kind of hurt your feet after a while if you didn't have shoes on. That's why you always see me with shoes on. So let's get into stopping on this kayak. One of the main reasons I bought this kayak was because of this pedal drive. I like the bicycle style pedal drive with the propeller. I think it's very simple. I love that it has instant reverse, because I was gonna go buy an Outback, a Hobie Outback, or possibly a Pro Angler. I was looking at both, obviously, but I really like this drive. I feel safer on this drive. I feel like I have more control on this drive. For me personally, I don't have to pull any tabs or anything like that. So let's go ahead and see how it stops. Cruising speed. Oh no, the boat literally stops almost instantly, and I'm barely pedaling backwards. I just gave it a quick little punch and we're stopped completely. That's fantastic. My Hoodoo, I'd be freaking spraying water everywhere out the back. So that's definitely a plus for a safety feature. But let's see how it goes in reverse too. All right, so we stopped. Now we're going in reverse. It took a second. There we go. Oh, we're cruising too. Oh, this is nice. What a great feature. All right, and now we'll go back forward. I never try to gun it unless it's an emergency situation. Don't want to put that type of pressure on the propeller, but this thing is well made. It's heavy, it's solid. Definitely impressed with it so far. And now it's time for me to test the main feature that I was really excited about: steering. That was one thing I complained about 4 years ago when I made that video when I got my Hoodoo, was about the turning radius. It sucked, to be frank. I know it was a budget kayak, so at least I had steering, of course, but compared to this, watch this. Turn right, instant. Like instant. Look, I was just right there. Maybe what, 10 feet? Here's a 180. All right. Now let's go left. Make a figure 8. And there's a lot of wind pushing me this way too. Easy money. This is gonna make it so much better when I'm fishing bridges, when I'm fishing tight spots where the current might be strong and I really gotta, you know, utilize my handle and my rudder. This is gonna be freaking amazing. I'm stoked. I can't wait for the summer. Worry about storage and room on the kayak. So you do have a huge storage area right here with some bungees. You could literally fit a massive cooler in here, a Yeti cooler, whatever you want. I don't really ever use the back storage. I usually have like a, you know, a cart with some more fishing rod holders, but yep, if that's something that's a big deal to you, boom, you got plenty of room. Now I can put all the bait I want back here whenever I'm going out on a trip. So I know another thing that is really important to people is stability. That is like the main thing with kayaks when somebody's trying to get into kayaking, especially kayak fishing. This thing is, look at this, I'm rocking the boat and I'm super stable. And I'm rocking it hard too. I don't want to drop my rod, but yeah, this thing is sturdy as an ox, it really is. And I'm sure you want me to stand up. It's super windy out too. Look at that, dude, no problem. See, no problem at all. Tilting back and forth, step around on it. Even within all this wind and all this boat traffic, it's not sketchy, it's wonderful. Also, for people that don't know, this kayak does come ready to have a fish finder built in the aspect of the transducer. So if you have your fish finder here or here, wherever you like it, there's actually a hole right here behind the drive. It goes down and there's actually a spot to mount your transducer, and that way you can run your cable straight through that so you don't have to go around the sides of the kayak. So they've thought of everything when building this kayak for what people will normally want to add to the kayak. You also have a spot back there for the shallow water anchoring setup. That's already pre-drilled right there for you, if that's something that you want to do. I also like these water gunnels on the sides. So if I'm going to be, because I will probably be, you know, going in rough water here and there, whether I like it or not, I like that if I'm nose diving through waves, that's really thick gunnel. So all the water is going to rush into here and drain right in here to this, to the hole in front of the drive. I think that's a great setup. I haven't used it yet, but in theory, I think that's going to be fantastic. Because one problem I have with the Hoodoo, that thing loved to nose dive straight into waves, and it would fill up the top, and even though it had some narrow gunnels, it would still always hold water. So that's definitely another plus. At least that's how I'm seeing it. Obviously haven't hit any rough water yet. So for this kayak, how you lock it in place is there's the 2 locks up here for the T-handle. You just spin them to unlock them and then spin them to tighten them down. There's also one down here to keep your drive in place. So all you gotta do to be able to pick up and put the drive in, spin this loose. Now you're just gonna pick up your drive. And what's really neat about this is there's a spring that automatically pulls the drive forward, so you don't even have to worry about anything. And then there's actually a hook back here that clicks it into place. So you don't have to pick up the weight or anything if you're worried about how heavy this thing is. Another great thing is if your propeller is not vertical, like in my kayak, if it was like this, I wouldn't be able to pick it up in an emergency situation. Because of this little hatch right here, it automatically spins it straight and just makes it that much easier to get in. So then to drop it back down, just put it down. Yep, and then lock it in place. Boom, that simple. Definitely love this drive. You know, a lot of people care about this option when it comes to a kayak, whether they like to have a brew out while they're on the water, or they just want something for their water. They have a nice big cup holder right here. It's deep enough where your drink doesn't normally fall out. So just in case for whoever actually cares about that feature, you do have one cup holder. Oh, by the way, if you do get this kayak, you are definitely want to get some wheels for it. Get a kayak cart. I know they're kind of expensive. You know, the Yak Attack ones are like 300 bucks. If you want to get the Boondocks, they're like 300 bucks. But one thing that I will say is Amazon right now has a kayak cart that comes with beach wheels, and it's on sale for $99.99. I ordered myself one. If you guys care, I can do a review, like a 2-minute review on it, how it works, if it's worth the money, yada yada yada. So I know that I was comparing a couple things to the Hoodoo. Remember, the Hoodoo, I'm not thrashing on the Hoodoo or anything like that. It is a budget kayak. You know, I think it's $1,400 right now. I paid for it, 4 years ago. It did everything I wanted it to and more. And this kayak is $2,899. So there is quite a price difference. So obviously you get what you pay for kind of thing, but just wanted to put that out there. Another thing that's kind of a con to me was because I don't have a kayak cart. When I have to pick this kayak up by myself and kind of walk it to wherever I'm launching it, I'm holding onto it sideways like I did on my other kayak. One hand on here and then the other hand back here, and I'll walk it sideways like this. And these do not seem that stable. It kind of gives a lot of flex, but I know that's not its intended purpose. It was just for today's launch because still waiting on the kayak cart and I'm by myself. So just one thing to kind of note for people that don't want to buy a cart and they want to just carry it themselves, try not to carry it from these handles because they do flex. There's another pro of this kayak compared to the Hoodoo. Whenever I'm like trying to fish like in between a structure, whenever the wind or the current, whatever, it'll kind of like wash me around, and it's super hard for me to, I'd get so frustrated because I'd be sitting there trying to turn the handle, trying to readjust myself. This thing, all I gotta do is turn the handle, maybe do half a pedal, and I'm back to where I want to be. It's perfect. The storm's starting to roll in, the wind's picking up quite a bit, and this kayak's handling everything like a champ. Pedaling's not too hard. I'm at a great cruising speed. So that way if it does start getting worse, I'd be able to get back in quick. So I like it. I like to look at it, all of that as like safety features. Like those are big things because I've been caught out in storms. I've had things break during, you know, rough weather and rough water. So definitely really liking this kayak so far. So something I forgot to mention, look inside my hull. So one thing that people didn't like when they saw me do my review of my Hoodoo, they were like, why don't you put the scupper plugs in? And I explained to them that in the center console, water would come out and then it would fill up if your scupper plugs were plugged. And then all of a sudden you'd have all this water in there. And they're like, well, I don't want a kayak that's gonna be a wet ride, yada, yada, yada. That wasn't a big deal for me, but for a lot of people, that was a big deal. If you look here, completely dry. There's no water coming in or out from the drive. Maybe in rough weather, a little bit will come in through the front, but as of right now, complete dry ride. So I know for some people that's a big deal. So another pro. First fish on the new kayak. Oh, and it feels good too. Oh, I hope it's a big flounder. Not too big, but it feels like, hell yeah. Not a keeper. It'll be close. See you later. There he goes.